thing guzzles gas like I guzzle Capri Sun when I was a fat 10-year-old kid at the beach. How much should you make to be able to afford an M340i? I hate this question, man. I don't care if you're Albert Einstein smart. There's no right answer to the question. It's really echoey in here, but the weather's so bad that I don't want this fully open. It's like perfectly quiet and clean right after I talk shit about the weather. Yeah, it's cold as hell. Bye-bye. People ask me all the time, plus there's like some trend going on TikTok of like a full cost breakdown of whatever car you're driving. In my case, the M340. In your case, if you have one or if you're watching these videos because you might get one, you want to buy one. How much did I put into this car? And how much do I make? How much should you make to be able to afford one, responsibly? Don't make fun of me for this, man. My sister got me this for Christmas, bro. Super proud of it. Sick. Starting with my cost breakdown, I'm gonna try to be as brief as I possibly can, but there's a lot to talk about and I have a history of yapping. So if you're not down to hear me yap, I'm sorry, man, I can't help you. But if you are down to hear me yap, I paid $52,000 out the door for this 2020 M340i, had 25,000 miles. There are multiple things to dissect here. Yes, I could have got F80. I could have done this. I could have done that. Yeah, we all could have, should have, would have done a bunch of shit, buddy. Also, the market was different, okay? That car was worth maybe $46,000, and I paid $52,000 for it. Overpaid, but regardless, it's paid off, man. But let's rewind a little bit, because it wasn't paid off for a while, and I had a fat-ass payment. So on that $52,000, I put $12,000 down and financed about $40,000 over, I think it was 6 years. I honestly don't remember, and it's bad. People ask me questions and I'm just like, dude, I don't even know the interest rate. The payment with that plan there was $699 a month, and then I added some bullshit maintenance plan that probably didn't even exist, bringing my payment to $722. So I was paying $722 a month, and that lasted for like 14 months. I also pay about $1,250 in insurance per 6 months through Progressive. Some people tell me, that's cheap as hell. How do you get it that cheap? And then on the other hand, people are like, bro, you're overpaying. Progressive gave me the best rate. I called around. I made sure to get the best rate I could. It comes out to like $208 a month or something like that over 6 months. So between the payment and the insurance, that was like $930 a month. Now I have to factor in gas. This thing guzzles gas like I guzzle Capri Sun when I was a fat 10-year-old kid at the beach. It has good gas mileage, and it does. I'm just an a-hole with how I drive. I'm always in Sport Plus anyway. And I'm not complaining, I'm just stating facts, bro. Factual information. I spend, let's say on average, $60 a week on gas, so that's $240 a month. That brought me to $1,170 a month just to drive this car, man. Not including all the mods that I absolutely had to do when I first bought this car. Like, I was buying stuff so fast. The money was just draining. Now let me break down some of the things that I purchased. 35% all-around tint was $300. In New Hampshire, this is the darkest legal tint you can have, and in my opinion, it's fine. Yes, I'm just coping when I say that because I get nonstop comments saying fishbowl, or at least I used to, not as much. Of course, I decided to make this up close and personal ass video when my car needs a wash so bad. I paid $1,100 for those Michelin Pilot Sport 4 all seasons, and then I paid $950 for those wheels, so that's like $2,000 right there. The second set of wheels, these Ferrata FR2s that I just got recently, costed $2,900 for the wheels, and these beautiful Pilot Sport 4S's. $300 for the springs that aren't even on the car. I paid $300 for this carbon fiber kidney grill. I believe I paid $100 for the carbon license plate frames front and back. In New Hampshire, I need to have it in the front, and they're strict as heck. I paid $200 for these carbon mirror caps. $90 for this ratchet ass carbon shark fin. I paid $300 for this carbon fiber M Performance wing that literally costs $1,200 on websites that are American websites. If you know, you know. $1,500 for the Mastery of Art and Design exhaust that is now a lot more than $1,500. $150 for the diffuser. I had an old different wing on here that was also $300 from Keys Motorsports. It literally doesn't end, and it's impossible to calculate it. $150 for the eBay side skirts. I had a front lip, but that thing broke from a porcupine, which is a simulation in its own. These things need to either be black or carbon. Front end PPF. I don't need to turn on my car for the hood. I paid like $140 for this dash cam, Red Tiger F17. Another $300 for this Dynon intake. I paid $800 for a custom tune. I will always take my car to a trusted professional and pay whatever the price is. Of course, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not oblivious. Even though some of you guys probably will tell me I am for paying that price. I'll send you the shop info. You bring it up with them, not me. Guys, I put well over 12 grand into this car's modifications. It's probably more, I just haven't dug it up. In terms of maintenance, I bought this car at 25,000 miles, right? Between 25,000 and 40,000 miles, I paid $200 total for 2 oil changes from BMW. And I have noticed the quality difference in oil since I stopped going to BMW for oil changes. I used to have to top this thing off after like 3,000 miles sometimes because of that watery ass liquid oil. But anyway, so I paid $200 for oil changes, and then at 40,000 miles, I paid like $600 for spark plugs and an oil change for the 40,000 mile maintenance or whatever the heck it was. This car had the oil pump go out, unreliable ass B58, but that was covered under warranty. Guys, besides the oil changes, I had one flat tire, the oil pump, but like I said, nothing out of pocket for that. I'm trying to think of what else I spent money on. So the car itself, $52,000 plus interest. I don't even want to know the total amount. I don't even want to go on the freaking app that I paid in total for this car. Now, after watching me yap and talk about my expenses on this car, now that I think about it, it's pretty much making me sick that this thing has been like a $70,000 project over a year and a half. But you don't have to pay the car off. I had to do it in order to get this house. My price range when I was looking for my first house was way too low for my liking. They were like, the only thing left to do was pay off the car, and it makes sense. I paid off the car. My price range went up $100,000. Now we're here in my townhouse with my M340i. Life is good, but we're just getting started. I love you guys, but I need to ask you guys a question. Now that you know an average M340i driver pays around $1,170 a month with payment, can you afford $1,200 a month on a car? It depends on so much. Like, what are your goals? Are you living at home? Do you want to buy a house? That story about this house, I'll tell you one thing. If you guys are young, if you're like 18 to like 23, you're trying to buy a house, but you want a nice car, I would seriously reconsider buying that car unless you, A, wipe your ass with money and you can buy the house regardless. B, know that you're gonna pay off the car in a couple years' time. Or C, A and B, and D that doesn't exist. There's nothing wrong with not buying a house, bro. $1,170 a month. If you love cars, if this shit makes you happy, you can afford the car. You still make all your bills. This is what I'll say. Off the dome, I think you should make like 75 to 100 grand to afford an M340i. If you're living on your own, you should be making 6 figures to afford this car. But with that being said, you can 100% make it work on a lesser salary with less money. I know people who do that. In fact, when I bought this car at $52,000, I only put $12,000 down. I think I was making at that time, like I was on a $75,000 a year pace. This is what I always say, like if your car payment's an afterthought, you can afford the payment. But if you're constantly moving around money, you're like dreading the day that you have your payment, shit like that, you probably can't afford the car. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, man. We're all grown-ass men with hairy chests and beards, bro. Gotta make your own decisions. You gotta be firm. You gotta make decisions quick without overthinking. You just gotta make it happen, man. That's what we have to do. That's what we're all doing every single day, man. But I hope I provided some insight to you guys. And I know there wasn't any driving. I hope it wasn't boring. But you looked at me the entire time. How could that possibly be boring, bro? Half you think I'm sexy. The other half think I'm fat. It's fun to watch both of those things. So at the end of this video, how much should you make to be able to afford an M340i? It's freaking subjective, man. Off the top of my head, you should be pulling in 75 to 100 grand a year. And that's just like a baseline number if I don't know anything about your life. If you're living on your own, which you probably should be if you're buying these types of cars, you should be making more money because $1,200 a month, it adds up quickly, man. Bills add up quickly, unexpected shit happens quick. And at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed, my friend. I don't know how I went on this random ass rampage rant, but I really appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, I'm absolutely blown away that you did. That light is brighter than my future, so if it was bright in the video, I apologize. I won't do it again. Literally out of breath from yapping. That's wild. Please give me a like, give me a subscribe, man. I need to up my game on YouTube. Regardless, more coming soon. Have a great night. Peace out. Let me know if I missed something, because I probably did.